Good morning children. Today I brought you another tense series video lesson. Today we will discuss the past continuous tense, its rules, structure and different uses. We know the rules and structure everything, but sometimes we forget to learn the different uses of particular tense. If you know the different uses of a particular tense, it will empower your language for writing and speaking. If you don't have subscribed my channel, subscribe it and press the bell button. Share the video with your friends also. Let us move on to the video lesson. Past continuous tense, uses and rules. Past continuous forms. The past continuous is formed using was or were plus present participle. Present participle means V plus ing, verb plus ing. Questions are indicated by inverting the subject and the auxiliary verb was or were. Negatives are made with not, adding with the auxiliary was or were. Let us check the three past continuous sentences. One is a statement and another is a question and yet another is negative form. Look at this statement. I was studying when she called. So was studying is the past continuous form. When she called. Question form. Was I studying when she called? This is the question. For making the continuous tense question form, we have to exchange these two. Auxiliary verb at the beginning and subject later. Was I studying when she called? Negative form. I was not studying when she called. This is the negative form. When we use not with this auxiliary verb was, we get the negative form. Now let us check different past continuous sentences in positive form, in negative form and in question form with all the subjects. First person, second person and third person subjects. Look, I was reading. Negative, I was not reading. Was I reading? That is the question form. You were reading. You were not reading. Were you reading? We were reading. We were not reading. Were we reading? Were we reading? They were reading. They were not reading. Were they reading? He was reading. He was not reading. Was he reading? She was reading. She was not reading. Was she reading? It was reading. It was not reading. Was it reading? These are the different past continuous tenses. In past, there are two auxiliary verbs for continuous tense. One is was and another is were. Look at this usage. Was is used with the singular subject. I also. With I also we use was in past tense. This is the only verb or auxiliary in English which has plural and singular form. Plural or singular forms. Was is singular and where is plural. That you have to notice. So with I and the third person singular subjects like he, she, it, we use was. With all other subjects, we use were. The format of past continuous statement. First we have to write a subject, then past form of verb to be, then ing form of the verb. This is the format of a past continuous tense. Look at here. I subject, past form of the verb to be is was, and ing form of the verb reading. We were reading, you were reading, and he, she or it was reading, they were reading. Negative form. Negative form is getting with subject plus past form of to be plus not, then ing form of the verb. Like I was not reading, we were not reading, you were not reading, he, she was not reading, they were not reading. Now contracted negative form. Subject plus past form of verb to be, then not in contracted form, then ing form of the verb. I wasn't reading, we weren't reading, you weren't reading, he or she wasn't reading, they weren't reading. Now let us check the form of a question, past continuous. Past form of verb to be plus subject plus ing form of the verb. So here subject and auxiliary verb are interchanged. First we have to write auxiliary. It is called auxiliary verb or past form of verb to be. Was I reading? Were we writing? Were you writing? Was he, she, it writing? Were they writing? Now let us check the question form with the WH words. Question words. Why was he crying? Where was he living? What was he saying? So we get the WH question forms in past continuous. First we have to write the question words like what, where, why, who, how. Then past form of verb to be, that is was. Then subject, all the subject, first person, second person and third person. Then ing form of the verb. Look at this. Why was he crying? Why is the question word and was is the past form of the verb to be and he is the subject, and crying is the ing form of the verb. So this is the format of a past continuous question. Now let us move on to the next one. Uses of past continuous. This is very important. Uses. First use long action in the past before a specific time. The long action is continuing after the specific time. Look at this. This is the timeline. We are here at present, and this is moving to future, and here it is the past. And look at here. One sentence. Yesterday at 8 a.m. I was taking breakfast. Consider this point as 8 a.m. And this is a duration of time. Not exactly 8 o'clock you can do it. Just before that and just after that. So we usually say that during 8 o'clock or yesterday at 8 o'clock I was taking breakfast. Take another at 2 p.m. Consider here a past time. Here it is 2 p.m. At 2 p.m. he was writing the notes. So here also you can see a duration of time period. It started maybe at 1:30 and ended at 2:15 or 2:30. So we take it as 2 o'clock. At 2 p.m. he was writing the notes. He was writing the notes. So this is one use of past continuous. A long action is continuing after the specific time. Here the specific time of 8 and here the specific time of 2, and the action continued for a little time. So this is first use of. The second use of past continuous. Interrupted long action in the past. To present a long action. Somehow it is interrupted in the past itself. When a short action interrupted a long action in the past. So the coincidence of two actions. Between these two, one is a short action and another is a long action. Past simple is used for short action and past continuous is used for long action. That you have to remember. Example. I was attending the online class when you called me. Which is the long action here? Yes, I was attending the online class. That is the long action. And which is the short action? Called me. When you called me. This is the short action. This calling is only for a short time. But this attending the online class is a long action. So long action is presented in continuous form and this short action in past simple. You must remember past simple. Another way we can represent this sentence. When you called me, write here W capital. When you called me, I was attending the online class. So, when part is with a short action and when you start this sentence with the word when, put a comma here, don't forget it. And I was attending the online class. The rule says that when plus past simple, then past continuous. When you called me, I was attending the online class, or I was attending the online class when you called me. So this when, this conjunction is used always with past simple. Same interrupted long action in the past. We continue it here again. Another sentence. I was living in Delhi when I met Amitabh Bachchan. So, I was living in Delhi, this is the long action. I met Amitabh, that is the short action. Or we can say that when I met Amitabh Bachchan, I was living in Delhi. So we start this sentence with when, and here we put the comma, and I was living in Delhi. This is the long action. Met is only a short action, a short time action. So when clause is used with the past simple and a continuous tense is without using when. Other way we can say that while I was living in Delhi, I met Amitabh Bachchan. So here instead of when, we can use while. When we use while, it indicates a period of time. Period of time. But when is a point of time. Point of time. Here a point of time. When I met Amitabh Bachchan, I was living in Delhi. But here while means a duration of period. While I was living in Delhi, I met Amitabh Bachchan. Or we can write the same sentence without any change of meaning. I met Amitabh Bachchan while I was living in Delhi. Look at here, while is used in the middle of the sentence, but without any comma, nothing. This is conjunction. I met Amitabh Bachchan while I was living in Delhi. Write this in separate way. Third use of past continuous. It is used to set the scene in a story or the atmosphere of a story, the background of a story. To describe the background or scene of a story before the real action starts. Use past simple for the real action. For real action, we can use past simple. For the background description, we can use past continuous. Look at the example here. They were roaming around the park. They were roaming around the park. So, were roaming means past continuous. Past continuous. And a car was coming to the garden area. This is also a car was coming, past continuous. Birds were perching on the tree branches. Were perching. That is also a past continuous. This is the background setting sentences. The scene is set and the real action starts now. Suddenly, the car hit the man. Hit is past tense, simple past or past simple. This is another use of past continuous to set the background of an incident or atmosphere of an incident. Now let us move on to the next. Same use, story, scene or atmosphere. We continue here. In English, we often use a series of parallel actions. A series of parallel actions to describe the atmosphere at a particular time in the past. Example. When I walked into the office. When I walked into the office. This is past simple. This is the real action. Several people were busily typing. Busily typing. Some were talking on the phones. Some were talking on the phones. All these actions are going on there. The boss was yelling directions. The boss was very loudly giving some directions. And customers were waiting to be helped. They were waiting to be helped. So these are all a series of continuous action. And the real action was when I walked into the office. That we said in past simple. This is another use of past continuous tense. Use for with always to describe an annoying habit or annoying repeated action in the past. Example. Nobody liked him. He was always shouting at us. So this is the reason why nobody liked him. So nobody liked him because he was always shouting at us. So this always is used to indicate some annoying habit, disturbing. Annoying means disturbing. Disturbing habit. Look at the second sentence. He was always making faults with his work. He was making fault. Actually, he was always making faults with his works. This is also annoying in negative sense. We use the past continuous tense. Use 5. Several actions at the same time or parallel actions. Look at this sentence. While I was reading a book, he was writing the notes. These two actions. Both the actions are in continuous form. While I was reading a book, he was writing the notes. Second sentence. She was cooking in the kitchen while I was watching TV. Here also continuous. Here also continuous. So this is the main clause and this is the subordinate clause. It is conjuncted with while. So this is the fifth use. Let us move on to the next. Actually, sixth is not continuous. The following verbs, these verbs have no continuous form. No continuous form with stative verbs. You must remember the stative verbs. Generally, we don't use the continuous form of these verbs. These verbs do not have a continuous form. They don't have any continuous form, generally. But in certain cases, we use it. Remember that. Example, believe, love, see, doubt, hate, suppose, feel, prefer, think. Think in the sense of I believe. I think that, I believe that. Imagine, realize, understand. This is two words. Understand, know, recognize, want, like, remember, wish, etc. One example. He did not work hard. I was hating him. Hate is a stative verb, so it cannot be used in continuous tense. This is wrong. What is the right form? He did not work hard. I hate him. Not I was hating him. I hate him. Hate is the past form here. Now let us check more non-continuous verbs. Non-continuous verbs, verbs that cannot be used in continuous form. Cannot be used. Remember this, cannot be used in continuous form are usually verbs that you can't see somebody doing. Such kind of verbs. These verbs are rarely used in continuous form. They are abstract verbs: be, want, cost, need, care, contain, owe, exist, etc. Then possession verbs: own, belong, possess, etc. Then emotion verbs like love, hate, dislike.